Money talks. Bullshit runs the marathon. So, see ya. And I wouldn't want to be here.
All right, everyone, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. Oh, it's a rare Saturday show. Why? Because it's a rare Saturday show. Why not? Get over it. I wanted to talk on a Saturday. The Giants, of course, are going to be in Philadelphia for that 4-25 game. Philadelphia Eagles are playing for the number one seed, so they got something to play for. The Giants are pretty much locked into their spot, so they're going to either be resting a lot of their starters or they're not even going to be playing. Looks like Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and a plethora of others are going to be out. I assume it's going to be Tyrod Taylor, but Davis Webb was just elevated to the active roster. So you know what? It's one of those games now that we're just trying to get out, and we're just trying to get out of Philadelphia without any injuries, because you need to go into full strength as much as possible to go up against the vaunted Minnesota Vikings in that playoff game, because we all know it's going to be Minnesota. But you really have to go in as healthy as possible. So Dable's doing the right things. He's saying the right things. He's turning around and doing what needs to be done in reference to getting the Giants healthy and going into their first playoff push in years. I was thinking about Dave Gettleman yesterday again, and I did a video. Oh my God, I'm hitting the microphone. I did a video about a month ago or 2 months ago. I can't remember how long it goes, that mentioned that, in some ways you got to give Getty some credit. Yeah, he screwed up the cap, but a lot of what was screwed up by Jerry Reese was done prior to him coming here, Gettleman that is, and Gettleman, of course, did not help his case by doing some of the things that he did, especially the Odell move. But if you look at some of the players that he drafted are what some would consider to be major contributors to the Giants season. And I laugh because the title is this Gettleman's playoffs. And I laugh because it's more of just to piss people off, because you know what, that's what we like to do here. We like to stir the pot. We'd like to just do everything that we need to do, because you know what?
Who are you then?
Just the fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass.
We like to be big time pain in the asses here. But if you go back and look at Giant history, we're not going to go back into deep in the annals of Giant history, but if you take a look at 86 and 90, those were total George Young teams. 100%. George Young, general manager, those were totally his teams, except for the 79 pick of Phil Simms at quarterback. But that had George Young's stamp all over it. I always go back and say that 2007, while Jerry Reese was the general manager and his draft class played a large role in that Super Bowl, a lot of that team and the majority of that team, including the quarterback, was Ernie Accorsi's. So I always give more credit and credence to Ernie Accorsi for that 2007. 2011, it was all Jerry Reese, so you got to give Jerry Reese credit for that. So you come in here into 2022. Shane came in with an empty cupboard. Gettleman also helped destroy the cap a lot. But if you take a look at the players that are here and the players that are somewhat major contributors, you gotta give a golf clap to Getty. You really do. I mean, look, Saquon Barkley with a renaissance after that big season, over 1,300 yards, helping the team team win in 9 games. He had the injuries basically had the injuries going into that second season after becoming the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He went from having, of course, the ACL tear last year to the ankle injury the year before. But you know what? He is a major reason, a major contributor in reference to the Giants getting back into the playoffs. Because I think if Saquon Barkley is not at his peak, if Saquon Barkley is not running the ball like he does, the Giants aren't in this position to make the playoffs. You also have to look at Daniel Jones, number 6 overall out of Duke. While his numbers are not impressive, and if you think 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns are impressive, you need to go back and watch NFL history. But right now, he is the right quarterback for this team, and he's the only quarterback for this team. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's not turning the ball over. He's also not scoring in bunches except for Reese in the last 2 games, but he's not turning the ball over. He's putting the Giants in positions to win games. And you know what? He is another Ernie Accorsi pick. And you have to take a look. If you're going to say that those are the two linchpins of the offense, you also have to remember Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas is how Andrew Thomas did not make a Pro Bowl. I have no idea. But you got Andrew Thomas at the left tackle side. You also have in the same draft, you got Xavier McKinney. You got, Xavier McKinney, except for being stupid on the ATV, is another guy that has been playing a vital role. Julian Love with the Notre Dame Renaissance, coming back in a fourth round pick in 19, having a career year. He's tailed off a little bit, but he's having that career year. You also forget Azeez Ojulari, another Getty pick, rising pass rusher, guy that's coming in. When he's on the field, he hasn't been healthy, and he's going to be a scratch for Philadelphia. You gotta look at that. You also have to look at Leonard Williams. He brought in Leonard. I think that's a double-edged sword though. Bringing in Leonard. Did Leonard really?
King of the almost sack.
In some ways, you could say Leonard kind of screwed this team a little bit. Screwed the pooch on this team a little bit because of the fact that his contract is an albatross, to the fact that we had to give a 2024 dead cap year for Leonard Williams, in reference to the fact that there will be a almost $6 million dead cap number. No matter what we do with Leonard in 2024, there is a $6 million number hanging over us for that. But some can say that, he's another guy that Gettleman brought in. And you also have to think one of his biggest franchise free agent signings in the history of any GM, and I'm also saying that being facetious, but there's Graham Gano. If you do not have Graham Gano, do the Giants stay in a lot of these games? Because a lot of these games are won by field goals. A lot of these games are because of the fact that we can't score. I'm sorry, I should have been.
That's what she said.
We can't score. We can't. There's nothing we can say about that. There's nothing we can do about that, but we have an issue scoring. We can move the ball between 20s at times, but once we get into the red zone, it's not the money zone. So without Graham Gano kicking those field goals, without Graham Gano kicking those long 60-yard field goals, we would have some issues. So if you take a look, and like I said, these are, how many guys would that be? So that's one. Oh, yeah, we talked about Dexter Lawrence, Sexy Dexy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. 8 guys out of 53. But these are 8 versatile guys. These are 8 indispensable guys in some regard. Because like I said, Dexter Lawrence is having a career year. Dexter Lawrence is another one that he's probably, if he does this again next year, he's going to get paid. He offers more versatility, and he offers more of an interior push than our old buddy Leonard Williams. He figured out how to play. I've always said this, and I've said this a million times. You really can't judge a draft class until about year 4, because you never know what's going to happen that rookie year. Sometimes you have guys come out that rookie year and just explode because the league doesn't have film. Then you have that sophomore jinx that second year because of the reason as the fact that the league does have film. The players do not start to adjust. They're not going to stay in the league very long. And that third year to me is usually the adjustment year. If they don't adjust within that third year, you usually decide you're going to move on from them from year 4, or if they show enough promise, have year 4. But after year 4, if you're not doing what needs to be done and doing what's supposed to be done, you're usually out the door. So I give a salute to Gettleman. You have to give all the credit, though, to Shane, to Dable, to the New York Giants organization as a whole, from the top down, from the players to the coaching staff to everyone else. And you know what? It's going to be fun in Philadelphia. I will be at the game. It'll be a fun time in Philadelphia. We're going to do a live stream on Monday, I believe. Probably going to be 4 o'clock. I don't know. It could be Monday or Tuesday. I'll let everyone know a little bit sooner. We're going to go over everything that is going on with the channel, because the channel is ending the last game of the season, or 3 days after the last game of the Giants season. The channel will be ending, and we have different projects and different things that are going to be taking its place. And one thing you do need to know is I'm not totally getting away from Giant content. We have a podcast called New York Giants Straight Talk, which is everywhere you can find podcasts, that we'll probably be posting maybe once a week on. And there'll be longer episodes. They'll be like hour-long episodes. So that's Giant Straight Talk. You can find we've had the podcast up for a while now. So you can find that anywhere, of course, podcasts are found. But we will be having the channel announcement on either Monday or Tuesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you don't unsubscribe because there's going to be a lot of fun, interesting stuff coming up. A couple games after the season. We're going to get into all that on Monday or Tuesday. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing this New York Giants Sports Talk Entertainment. And as always, if you like, subscribe. If you ring that bell, you're going to be